I'm storyteller and author Pleasant DeSpain, and you have a wonderful imagination. Welcome to Pleasant Journeys. Today's story is called The Laughing Brothers, and it's a Chinese tale found in my book Vagabond Tales in Search of Light and Life. And long, long ago in China, 3 young men, they were monks who decided to travel together, to live together, and they had the same passion. They wanted to go forth into the world and help to heal all that is wrong. And they figured it out. The best way to heal others is to help them laugh. This was their entire mission, to travel to small villages and then larger cities and towns, and they would meet at the marketplace, and then the 3 of them would separate and create a triangle of hilarity. They would stand opposite each other, and the thinnest one of all would shout out to his friends, "Who's going to get fat today?" And they would yell, "You are!" And that would cause them to begin laughing. And before long, the people shopping and milling about and would wonder, who are these strangers and why are they laughing and what is going on? But as we all know, laughter is infectious. Before long, there would be a chuckle, there'd be a snort, and then someone would burst out laughing, and that would lead to another and another. And then, one by one, everyone would join in, not even understanding the reason why. And in the midst of all of this joy, there would come that one moment where transformation was possible. And so, this was their job. This was how they lived their lives. And they traveled throughout China, year after year, decade after decade. And they became well known as the Laughing Brothers. And as they grew older, they continued their work. Oh, traveling a bit slower, of course, but they'd get there to the village, to the town, to the city, and they would establish themselves in the marketplace and get everyone to start laughing. And people looked forward to this, and when they arrived, everyone was happier. There were more smiles abounding. And then one day, when they were really quite old, they arrived in a small village in southern China. They were welcomed warmly, and the 3 old men, they found their positions. Who's going to get fat today? The thinnest one cried. The other 2 yelled, "Oh, you are, you are." And they all laughed. And the villagers all gathered round, and they started laughing too. But suddenly, the thinnest of the 3 men, he took a big and he fell onto the ground on his face. And he would laugh no more. His two elderly brothers approached the body. They looked down at their departed friend, and then they looked at each other. One smiled, and the other one smiled even more, and then they both started laughing. Oh, it was hilarious. They started dancing around the body, and they were laughing, and they started running through the small town, and the people were outraged. How dare you, they said. You cannot disrespect your dead friend. Stop with the laughter. But the two old men said, no, you don't understand. You see, we three had a bet between us as to who would die first, and he won. And the other said, how can we not laugh? He spent his entire life not only laughing, but helping others to laugh. It would be disrespect to not laugh now, because the laughter, it cannot die. The laughter must never die. The people began to understand, and they said, we will take care of the body, and we'll build the pyre high, and the cremation will happen tonight. His two friends said, we must leave his body alone. He made us promise that. But yes, build the pyre, we'll place him atop. And so instead of the ritual of bathing the body and clothing it properly, they did leave him alone. And then that night, with the moon full and the pyre high, they gently placed the body on top. Everyone gathered around in a big circle, and the lead elder of the village had the honor of lighting the pyre with his torch from down below, and the flames started and began to lick upward, and the small branches then burned right on up into the larger ones, and then finally to the logs up at top, and when the flames began to lick at the body, all of a sudden there was a loud boom, and then pop, 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 and then there were flashes of color in the sky. There were rockets going off. There was red and blue and yellow and green, and he had hidden fireworks throughout his body. He wanted the last laugh of all, and the people, after being astounded and amazed at this sight, they began to laugh too, and everyone was laughing and rejoicing. And finally, there were tears. And those tears turned into pure tears of joy. Well, there ends my story, because the laughter, as we know, must never die. I first heard the basis of this story, must have been 35 years ago. I was in California, in San Diego, and I was driving along, and there was a young man who was hitchhiking, and I picked him up, and he told me that he was part of the community with Sri Rajneesh, the guru. and that Rajneesh had told that story that day, and he liked it so much as we were driving along. He had so much fun sharing it with me, and we both appreciated so much how it ended. And years later, I did find a version of the story, and then I've been telling it for years ever since. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. And I would so appreciate with this young channel, Pleasant Journeys, that you would give it a like, and especially if you would subscribe. And if you leave a comment, I'll be more than happy to respond. And below is my website listed, and on my website, all of my books are there with direct links to Amazon.com. There are so many stories yet to be told. Another story to tell next week.